happening, folks? Boy, that was weak. Been a rough start this morning.
You must have ate too much the last few days.
My blood is moving rather slow because I thickened it up real good Thursday, Friday, and yesterday. We're still eating leftovers. Y'all sick of it yet?
I'm almost sick of it.
Yeah, I told everybody today, one more time, lunch today, and I'm done. Y'all can take it home with you or whatever, but I'm done with it.
I probably need to just confess my sins. And I have probably I have gluttoned over the last few days, but I'm repenting.
Yeah, I tell you. Yesterday, I made an effort to try to get rid of it all in one day.
Oh boy,
Yeah, that's right.
oh boy.
Justifying his gluttony.
That's it. Yeah,
Got to get rid of it.
still got a little grease in my throat. So I sound like I'm talking through a deep fat fryer. You know what's happening. Oh man. Well, the holiday season is upon us. We've made it through Thanksgiving, so now everyone can officially be ready for Christmas.
Yeah, it's time to put up my solstice tree.
Your solstice tree, yeah. You know, we are pagan. We come from pagans.
That's what they say.
And so might as well put it up.
Yeah. I hadn't put anything up yet. I'm waiting to figure out what y'all have to say about it.
The evil Christmas tree.
Can I tell you all a secret?
Yeah.
What? We won't ever take our tree down.
I think you've already revealed that before.
I think probably have. 3 years it's been, I have won this war. It's awesome. And now everybody's just on board with it. We just closed the blinds.
We were, not to give away too much, but me and Kristen went to the church yesterday because we were keeping some dogs, her doctor's dogs, so we ain't put nothing up at the house yet because they tear everything up. But at the church, we went ahead and put a tree up at the church, and it's an artificial tree. At my house, we always get a real tree. But we're putting that artificial tree up, and she was talking about how, God, it's just too painful to have to fluff it out all the time and stuff like that. I said, that's why a lot of people that have them leave them up all year. Mm-hmm. So that's why, right?
That's it.
You don't want to have to fluff it out.
You don't have to fluff it out. You don't have to move it, undecorate it. Like you could, so if we wanted to go legit, we would just redecorate it for all the seasons and the holidays. So we could have had a Thanksgiving tree, and a Christmas tree, and a Valentine tree.
But y'all don't even do that.
No, right now we got a Make America Great Again tree.
That works year round.
Year round. Yeah. So we did that last year, right before the election. We got Trump hat, American flags, red, white, and blue. It's a glorious tree, son. It's cool. It's glorious.
How tall is it?
7.5 foot.
See, that's why they're so hard to fluff out. You get a little tree, you ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah, this is true. Yes.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make America great again, it's got to be a big tree.
We got as big as we can fit in there.
Huge.
Huge. You got to say it with a Y. Huge tree.
Biggest. Some would say the biggest ever.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, so yes, we probably have an idol up, and we shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
right.
That's what the scriptures I'm looking at seem to say, right?
What does everybody refer to? Is it the Jeremiah 10:1 they always go?
Well, you can. If I was going to steel man that argument, I would start with like Exodus chapter 20, which is that's the 10 Commandments, in verse 3 and 4. And let me just go ahead and I will just say this on the front end, on everything that I'm going to start reading. Anytime you read scripture, make sure you keep reading.
All right.
As we go through this, we're going to see. We're going to point out some scriptures that are used to argue one certain way. But if you keep on reading, you may just find that it don't work.
It's amazing how context does, isn't it?
But Exodus 20, verse 3 and 4 says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth." So right there, trees are in the earth. So don't make anything, don't set anything up as a graven image. And then comes Jeremiah 10. You got that one? You want me to read it?
If you got it, you can read it.
I said, Jeremiah 10, 2 through 4 that I've got here says, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman, with the axe, and they deck it with silver and with gold, and they fasten it with nails and with hammers, and that it move not." Sounds like Christmas tree.
It does sound like it. You got to keep reading, though.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Yeah. Are we trying to disprove everything now?
No, I was just saying that if you keep doing it, they put it upright like a palm tree. That's what we do.
You put it upright, it stands upright.
Yep.
Yeah. But you keep reading after that, you'll find out that what it's talking about is not exactly, that's not a good argument. But
So, but right off the bat though, Jeremiah 10, it actually condemns the cutting down and decorating of a tree.
seems to do that.
Right. Isaiah 44 is pretty much the same way, but that's a lot to read. But you can go back and look at it. It's pretty close. Same thing.
Also, won't these people that were doing it, won't they pagans? Isn't that where it comes from? Were the pagans even around then or not?
Yeah, pagan is anything that's yeah, pagan's anything that's not a worshiper of the one true God.
Okay, yeah. I never met a people group that were like pagan. I've said, I've got Mexicans and
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would say, "Hey, yeah, man, I'm pagan."
I'm from pagan. I'm from Pagan.
I do. There was a kid on my son's baseball team. His last name was Pagan.
Oh.
That's kind of terrible, but bless his heart. But yeah, there was this ancient pagan celebrations of the solstice, the winter solstice, when they would take trees and bring them inside and decorate them as objects of worship.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you saying that did?
Ancient pagans, like in Jeremiah's day.
And then even more recent, the Germans picked up something like
Germanic
that.
and Celtic. Yeah. They would venerate trees. They would revere them, worship them even.
Well, I want to ask something.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah, if they brought those trees in, what they have to do to them in order to plate them with silver and gold?
That's tinsel. They had tinsel back then.
Oh, they had tinsel?
Yeah, they had like tinfoil. They cut in little bitty strips and they hung it up there.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Is that what that was?
I don't know. What were you getting at?
Had to carve it.
I've never seen anybody plate a Christmas tree with silver and gold.
What do you mean? Decorate it with silver and gold, or what?
No,
do you
there's
mean
a big
plate it?
difference between decorating and plating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't never. I don't know. What do you mean plate? I don't even decorate. So I know I ain't done. I don't even decorate tree. I get the tree in the house and then I'm done.
I'm just trying to pull out what these pagans did. They took a tree, they pretty much cut it up, didn't they? They had to. They're gonna carve it into an image.
They're gonna make.
They're gonna plate it with silver and gold. It's not a tree anymore, is it?
They're gonna make it into a god, an object that looks like a god.
And then they worship it.
Absolutely.
I don't think it looked anything like a Christmas tree. I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe it did.
Well, I think the point is you're being too specific, and what Jeremiah is doing is showing a pattern. You're not supposed to cut down a tree, bring it inside, decorate it anyway, and treat it as a religious ornament.
Oh, I get it.
Ain't that what he's saying?
I don't think that's what he's saying.
Oh, come on now.
At all, really. In that passage, he says, "Don't learn from the heathen, because their ways are vain." I think that's a big thing there. The ways are vain. Vain means to be empty or doesn't have any meaning. What makes their acts, and he's talking about there in verses 2-4, what makes their actions empty? What makes the bringing the tree in vain and empty and meaningless? It's the verse that comes after verse 4. Where it said, verse 5, where it says, "They are upright as a palm tree, but they speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Don't be afraid of them, for they cannot do either. Neither also is it in them to do good." The context is idol worship.
Worship's the big one, right?
Yeah, idol. They're setting this thing up as something that is alive, and Jeremiah is saying that's vain. It's vain because that thing is not alive. You don't worship things that are not alive. You only worship that which is, and that is the one true and the living God.
We'll try to do it this way
Keep
still.
on.
Here we
It's
go.
hard.
So,
I know it's hard on
but
you.
I'm going, and y'all can. But doesn't God give us a warning about mixing our worship, Christian worship, with pagan customs? Like in Deuteronomy 12:30-31, it says, "Take heed thou that inquire not after the gods, saying, how did this nation serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. So these guys, again, they went out in the woods, they cut down a tree, they brought it in, they decorated it, and then they began to worship it like an idol.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't that what we do?
Go ahead.
I can't find the worship part. How about 1 Corinthians 10:31? Somebody read that.
Oh, gotta go. You want me to read the Bible? Man, I was going to just use my feelings to guide this discussion.
That whole
1 Corinthians 10:31. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It says, whether therefore you eat or drink, whatsoever you do all to the glory of God.
I think the word, the problem with what you're saying is worship.
Right.
Worship. Okay.
You hadn't even taken your Christmas tree down, right? You got a Christmas tree at the house.
But it's a MAGA tree. It's worshiping America, I guess.
Oh, so you fall down on your knees before that tree.
No, I've never really done that.
Yeah. Let me bring in my solstice tree so that I can get down and worship it this Christmas season.
All right, let me try that.
No Christian ever.
There you go. You mentioned it, though, so let's use it that way. So if the evergreen was used as the pagan winter ritual, the solstice, then some would say then that Christians should avoid just incorporating it any way whatsoever into their celebration of Christ's birth.
But can we do it and glorify God?
Guilt by
Still
association.
going back.
Guilt by you can, but I'm saying you shouldn't. Just because you can don't mean you should.
Glorify God in everything you do.
No, you should, and one of the ways you do it is by not looking like the world, because it says, "Be not conformed to this world." I'm trying hard.
So we've gotten away from. So I think we've answered the fact that this is not syncretism, right? Syncretism is mixing Christian worship with pagan practices,
right?
And we're saying we don't worship a tree. I've never seen that tree don't say nothing. It don't do nothing. If I say pray for me, it's not going to pray for me. Just like if I said pray, if I was looking at a statue of Mary and said pray for me, she ain't praying for me. They can't do that. I don't worship that. So now you're just talking more about the appearance of
evil,
guilt by association. I would point back to a previous episode where we talked about Halloween, and we talked about how biblical theology is redemptive, right? Mm-hmm. And when it comes to that means that God is redeeming everything back. Old Testament Joseph told his brothers that sold him into slavery, what y'all meant for evil against me, God meant it for good. God redeemed it. New Testament Romans says that God is working all things for the good of those that love him. He's redeeming all things. Revelation culminates that theology and says that he is making all things new. He is renewing all things. He is redeeming all things. When Christians put Easter and Christmas on those pagan holidays, they were covering what I think we said in that episode, they were covering what was corrupt with what was righteous. They were redeeming it. They're not mixing it. They're redeeming it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I got some history that if we get to, I'll read some of that too. So let me give you one more.
I can tell. Let me give you a couple more ways that we've redeemed history. Christian hymn writers used to use well-known, popular music that was associated with bars and dancing, and put Christian lyrics to them. We sing them. Our hymnals are full of that music, that bar music, sung with Christian lyrics to it. And what were they doing? Redeeming music from the pagan world. Pagan origins does not equate to present meaning.
Right.
That's a good statement.
And got to be really clear on what that scripture says. They didn't look anything like a Christmas tree, what they were doing. They were cutting down trees, taking part of that wood, and they were fashioning idols out of it, carving idols, and then they would worship them and pray to them.
They would make something,
nothing like that. Does not glorify God.
They would make something that looks like a something that had life. Isn't that what that's what the Jewish people did, Hebrew people did when Moses was up on the mountain. He didn't come down. They melted everything and made him a golden calf.
Isn't that kind of what we've done with the Christmas tree, though? Because if something draws more attention or becomes more exciting than Jesus himself, isn't that in itself like an idol?
Is the Christmas tree more exciting?
If you were to ask 100 Americans this question, what's your favorite thing about Christmas? I think you'd probably get more Christmas trees than you would Jesus.
Asking 100 Americans is not asking 100
Right,
worshipers
that
of
could be.
God.
You're paying attention to the words I say. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Christians.
We're going to go back to 1 Corinthians again. Depends on whether they glorify God in it.
I see.
Right?
Okay. I'm just trying, man.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good.
Yeah. Paul warns you not to do that.
Does he?
Not to participate in doubtful and disputed practices in Romans 14:5. One man esteemeth one day above another. You ought not. Anybody says?
Yeah, that's
Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Whatsoever is not of faith is sin. 14:23.
exactly. He's saying, stop arguing that sort of stuff. Don't tell me that I can't have a Christmas tree if I'm not worshiping it. Just like if you're convicted of it and you don't want to have a Christmas tree, hey, more power to you. You don't have to put a Christmas tree up. And I don't have to tell you got to put one up. Just like you better not be telling me that I can't have one. That's the kind of disputes he's talking about. He's saying receive everyone as a brother, without those small disputes that are side arguments. They're fun to talk about. They'd be fun to debate in times like this, but don't be telling people what they can and can't do that's not laid out in Scripture. Don't make Scripture say what it doesn't.
Right.
So I think there was Jesus also gave some warning about following man-made traditions. And obviously you've established that the Jeremiah passage is not talking about a Christmas tree. And the Christmas tree must have come from man-made tradition then. And so in Mark 7:7-8, it says, teaching for the doctrines, the commandments of men, for laying aside the commandments of God, ye hold the traditions of men. And so...
Oh, read that again.
I'm going to go back there. I can read the whole thing. So basically, teaching for the doctrine, the commandments of men, for laying aside the commandments of God, you hold the traditions of men.
Yeah, it says right there.
Commandments of men.
It's saying there that they have taken tradition and elevated it above God's word,
right,
and true faith. That's the problem. That's the same thing as the idolatry, putting something in your house to elevate it above God or in the place of God. And that's what Jesus is saying. You're putting away the word for a tradition, an empty, vain tradition that has zero salvific value.
That doesn't glorify God.
Keep them coming.
I think I'm almost out. I'm trying. Those are the only ones that I had that I thought, well, these could actually make a little bit of sense if you were to stretch it a little bit.
I mean, it's the Exodus passage. Is you just have to keep reading the next verse. Jeremiah chapter 10. Just read the next verse. In the verses you've read, just look at what the verse is saying. And there's nothing saying that the actual practice of cutting a tree down and putting it in your house is wrong. What's wrong is making it an idol. What's wrong is elevating that above God. What's wrong is making those practices more important than true faith.
How would someone know a Christian is not celebrating a pagan practice because they have a tree? And then if you resemble it, because the biggest thing for your whole life is to avoid this appearance of evil.
Here's the problem.
Isn't it?
You said that without trying to laugh.
It was hard, but I said it.
You said
Where is the origins of Christmas tree anyhow? Are the origins inside of pagan worship?
So yes and no is the answer to that question.
I don't see how, but so
ancient origins, right? Pre-Christian tradition, long before Christmas even ever existed. Which, by the way, so just as a note, all right, I have to just make this point because y'all didn't make it yet. When was the book of Jeremiah written? What year? About? It's like I'll just give.
It's gonna have 700 BC.
Yeah, it was 600-700, somewhere between there. It took it like 100 years or so, but you've got dates like that are recorded in Jeremiah, events that are recorded. We know the dates too, so they give it around the 600, 650 something BC before Christ.
Right.
That was a long time ago. You know, it did not exist then.
Christmas.
And I don't think that's a prophecy. Jeremiah 10, it's not a prophet. They were actually doing that at that time, were they not?
But the argument's going to be they were doing this practice at the winter solstice, and then when Christ came and Christianity began to take off and became a thing, and the church put that holiday to celebrate the incarnation on top of the winter solstice, that we took that practice of bringing trees in and applied it to Christ. And that's the problem.
That is an argument, right?
That is an argument.
So long before Christmas ever existed, you had these ancient people. They used the evergreen tree that plants as a symbol of life and hope and protection during the darkest part of winter, the winter solstice, and that's because it never died. And so, like the Egyptians, they used palm branches to celebrate victory over life and death. The Romans, they decorated their homes and temples with evergreens. I mean, they did all these things. The Druids and the Celtics, or the Celts, or whatever you call them. Germans, pre-Christian Germans, evergreens were part of winter rituals all the time. So the Christmas tree didn't have a beginning, per se, with the Christians, if you want to call those Christmas trees.
No, but they're not Christmas trees.
I got it.
That's the problem.
Yep. So then early Christian symbolism was a paradise tree, and this was like medieval Europe type time. So by the Middle Ages, Christians in Europe began to connect like the evergreen with biblical symbols.
The Germans in the 1800s, right?
Yeah. So
specifically,
well, this is before then. So we haven't quite got there yet. So, and then December the 24th was celebrated as the feast of Adam and Eve in some religions. That was, I don't know exactly which ones. I couldn't really narrow that down enough to say for sure. Churches and town squares use evergreen trees to decorate. When they decorate them with like apples and things like that, wafers even, and they called them the paradise tree. It was the closest thing they had to a Christmas tree, and that was back in medieval ancestor stuff.
That's the part I was talking about.
Yeah. So you get
it in plays.
Yeah. And so now, I mean, we're long after Jeremiah, by the way, which is 600 and something BC. Now we're in the 15 to 1600s, where you get the first true Christmas tree in Germany. And most historians that I read, they agreed that the first documented Christmas tree came out of Germany. And it was the key things about development. Families decorated indoors trees with apples, nuts, candles, sweets, and paper ornaments, and it became a Lutheran tradition.
Okay, there's a whole lot getting skipped there, but then that I want to add in there, they did take that from the play. It was Germans that did that, so it was celebrating the garden, Adam and Eve. Had biblical origins. Then they brought it into the house and started doing that. The reason the Lutherans, because Martin Luther, the documented story is that he was walking through the evergreens at night and saw the stars shining through, and he wanted to reproduce that in his home at Christmas on a Christmas tree, so he put candles on it. Mm-hmm. So that's why the Lutherans started doing that. Anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah. That's it.
It's all Christian based, every bit of it.
Somewhere around the 17 to 1800s, the Christmas tree spread across Europe, Germany to France, and then in the 1700s, obviously Germany to the United States, because here we come, right? We're starting to be established. You had these German immigrants come into Pennsylvania, and they used Christmas trees well before the rest of America even really paid attention to it. I think Britain even adopted it in the 1800s as like official. Queen Victoria and her German husband, Prince Albert, famously posed with a decorated tree in 1848. And it was basically, the illustration was published in a London newspaper, and the image went viral. And so making Christmas trees fashionable across Britain. Okay. 1800s America, the tradition becomes mainstream. The Puritans in New England rejected Christmas decoration as pagan, but by the mid-1800s, Christmas trees became widely accepted. Newspapers printed instructions for how to decorate them. Glass ornaments were imported from Germany. Electric Christmas lights appeared in 1882, created by Edward Johnson, the colleague of Thomas Edison. Isn't that pretty cool stuff? I hate history, by the way, but this was interesting. And so then, this is like 1882. This is the decorated Christmas tree becomes a Central American tradition. And then obviously 1900s up through the present, it's like global. Today, Christmas trees are everywhere, worldwide. And you got, real ones and artificial ones and these LED ones and pink ones and all this other junk. But anyway, that's how the Christmas tree came about. Now, if you want to talk about like a Christian standpoint on it, what I did see was exactly what you were saying. You had all these pagan holidays, if you will, pagan rituals and traditions that people were doing all throughout history. It's always been that way, right? And the Christians decided that, I mean, everything that we have comes from God, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
What we decide to do with it makes it good or bad.
Right.
And because the pagans, if you will, had taken on these things and tried to make them bad, the Christian system, well, these are actually created by God. We need to be redeeming them, just like you were saying, so that everything that we do could glorify God.
That's it.
And that was pretty much the reason why the Christians adopted Christmas and Christmas trees, if you will, as part of the celebration for Christ's birth. And they put it on purpose on that date. I think originally, though, it was set somewhere around in March. But they moved the date to December to coincide with the winter solstice so that Christians could be redeeming the time, redeeming the things that were being taken over by a pagan world. Or I can tell you that for sure if I can find it. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So early Christians believed that Jesus was conceived. This is why they had the date. So theologians' calculations. I don't know if I totally follow this or even agree with it because I hadn't done a lot of the math. But early Christians believed Jesus was conceived on the same day that he later died. You ever heard that?
I have not heard that.
That seemed weird to me to be that specific. Anyway, they calculated that to be sometime around in March. Whatever.
I've got some math that says differently.
Yeah, that me too. Mine was more like the harvest time, whatever time that was. I can't remember exactly what it was.
My math, it goes back to the order, and this is off topic. It goes back to the order of John the Baptist's father's priestly course. And I actually have Jesus being conceived at the same time of the year that we would celebrate Christmas.
Conceived in, yes.
And then he would be born
9 months later
at around the feast of around like September,
the harvest time.
Yeah, Feast of Tabernacles.
That's it. Yeah, me too. That's what I thought too. It's more like around that harvest time. They had the big harvest and the big feast. Anyway,
but yeah, none of like God created the trees. They belong to him, and we cannot allow the pagan world to steal his creation and to steal that heritage from him. If they want to take it and corrupt it, it's our job as believers to be Christ-like and redeem those things.
And so the Romans festivals that they had what is it? So it had Saturnalia. Yeah, and then they had a Sol Invictus. And rather than adopting those, the Christians tried to replace them and overshadow them with a Christ-centered worship.
I don't even really see that because the origins of the Christmas tree did not come from anything other than a play about creation, the Garden of Eden.
Well, yeah,
that's where it originated.
I think. Well, yeah, for the Christians it did.
Right.
But I think even prior to that, they were using trees, not
decorations. That was not a Christmas tree.
It was not a Christmas tree. It was.
You're talking about something completely different. This is apples and oranges.
What
you can't put them together.
Yeah, I get it.
It sounds like what you're saying is that there was this new practice of Christmas trees, but now people look back because
now they want to look back and stick them together.
Stick them together.
The problem didn't exist in history until recently, and now people are looking to say, hey, there's this thing in the Bible where it says they shouldn't be doing that. And so Christians are adopting pagan practices, which you're saying that it was never a pagan practice. This was something new. It looks like something old, but it's not. It's something new.
It's completely different.
To do something instead of that. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I can see that. Absolutely.
People want to say, well, this is the origins when it's not the origins. They don't even know where the origins are.
They started arguing about that in the 1600s, where the Puritans actually, for a short period of time, banned Christmas altogether in New England.
Right. They started arguing it then.
For a short time. Then they
just for a little while, yeah.
I think y'all probably right. They undulated too far.
They did. They called it too worldly. You ever heard anybody around here call it too worldly?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to abstain from the appearance of worldly evil.
You got to. It's no choice. Anyway.
So that way you can stomp out 1 Corinthians 10:31. You can't do that. It's worldly. So now you can't glorify God with a Christmas tree. Right.
That's what they say.
if you want to be, they're so technical about it. They're going to use a Jeremiah as technically talking about a tree, but if you get right down to it, the Bible really never gives anything whatsoever that talks about decorating a Christmas tree.
No.
Nothing. And the passage that's used from Jeremiah, I mean, at first glance, yeah, I guess it could say that you're cutting down a tree to decorate it, but he is, like you've said already, he is not talking about a Christmas tree at all.
No, they're making an idol.
In fact, I believe by the time they got it in, it didn't have no branches on it.
That's exactly the point I was trying to make. They carved it down there. They plated it with silver and gold. No, it's
they
not
are
even
doing
a tree
something
anymore.
very specific for idol worship, and they are bowing down before that thing as though it is God, a God itself, and
praying to it, worshiping it.
yeah, I don't know any Christians.
Yeah, if you put your tree up and you every night before you go to bed, you bow down before it and you say a prayer to it, and you wish upon the star that's on the top, then yeah, absolutely, you have created an idol. You know what I mean?
A problem.
Is it the same thing if you do that to figurines and?
Oh yeah, I would think it'd be the same. Yeah, only if they have gold and silver though. As long as they're painted, you're probably safe.
So I can't have no Christmas tree. What about it? What about a nativity scene? Can I have a nativity scene in my house?
I don't know.
I can't have no Christmas tree. Can I have a nativity scene?
Now you got this appearance of evil thing that you got to worry about. That's the main thing for the people to worry. Your entire life, everything you do, you should always ask the question: does this give me an appearance of evil?
Does this glorify God? That's probably the better. Probably better.
I think it's more important the do's and don'ts more than the glorification thing. Is what I was taught.
If you people are listening and not watching, you need to go to YouTube and watch. Because I want you to look at Robin. That beard and that hair was gray.
That'd be Santa
That would
Claus.
be Santa Claus right
This
there.
is a young Santa Claus
See?
over here.
That's right. It's Christmas, man. It's Christmas.
I said,
I'll see if I can find me a Christmas sweater to wear next time.
You don't need to. That was perfect.
I thought
Christmas
I heard hooves on the top of this building somewhere.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I got a lot of sugar in my coffee too. I don't know what that means, but I do. I just watched this is a random thought. Y'all seen the movie Fat Man?
No.
I don't think so.
Where Mel Gibson is Santa Claus.
I don't think I've ever seen Mel Gibson as Santa Claus.
And this one dude, he's old now, but Santa Claus didn't give him what he wanted as a kid. Then you have this another younger kid who's not getting what he wanted. He got a lump of coal, and so he hires the older dude to go kill Santa Claus for him. Oh man, it's awesome. It is not your normal Christmas movie.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, be careful. That's what I watched yesterday.
I love watching Christmas movies.
Yeah. I watched that one and read one yesterday while Uncle Chris was sleeping.
I like Red One. I saw that a couple years ago. Whenever it came out. Was that last year it came out?
Yeah,
Whenever
I think
it was.
so. Yeah,
that was good.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know that anywhere, even inside of Christianity, it would be really hard to say that a Christmas tree was set up to honor a god or a false god, even, wouldn't it?
It is hard. You have to ignore the whole history of it, and if the origins,
and if your sole argument is, well, you're decorating for Christmas and that's taken away from the meaning because you're supposed to be focused on Christ, then I would say you probably ought not have pictures or curtains up in your house either, because all throughout the year we're supposed to be focused on him as well, right? Not just Christmas.
Every decoration in your house, takes away.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think it's an idol. I mean, I don't worship my tree. I don't burn sacrifices to it. I don't give it any power. I don't pray towards it. You know, none of that stuff.
Has the world taken away from it? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But
origins, they don't want Christ to be about Christ.
All the more reason that we're supposed to be working harder to redeem it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a certain amount of Christian liberty that we have, and that means if you don't want to put up a Christmas tree,
don't do it.
Don't do it. If I want to put up one, I can, and I'm not going to tell you got to put one up. You can't tell me I can't put up one. But I do believe that Christmas trees and decorations they're not traditions for anything else but just celebrate the occasion of Christ's birth, his incarnation, specifically those things. But broader than that, it's a reminder of the perfect life he lived and the sacrificial death he gave and his glorious resurrection. That's who we worship. We worship Christ. It points us. All it does is point us to Christ. It reminds us that God became flesh and he dwelt among us in the person of Jesus Christ. And it also points us to his soon return. That's all it does. I ain't falling down and worshiping that tree. I don't care if I got a Christmas tree or not. I hate decorating them and stuff like that. But we do it because for me, when people walk in my house and they see a Christmas tree, they see somebody that is celebrating the incarnation of Christ, especially if they know you're Christian.
I do like the point you made too. Just cause something, even if it had, let's just say for instance, like it did originate as a pagan thing. Just because it originated as a pagan does not make it sin.
Right.
It is the intent of what you're doing with it. Paul talks about that when it comes to food, right? In Corinthians, 1 Corinthians. Just because if meat sacrificed to idols, it was still good for food, right? What determines if it was sin or not is what the believer's intention is, conscience, not a historical aspect of it. And I think this becomes the issue when we're talking about all the holidays. If we allow things that have happened in the past or where things are actually headed to dictate to us what we can and cannot do as Christians, we are slowly just giving away everything that God has created to the lost world. And I'm all for it's time to start redeeming those things back, man.
Yeah. Because that glory belongs to God, right?
That's right.
It like you said, present origins does not equal present meaning. Just like how it started, even if it was Christian origins, does not equate to present meaning. Just because it started as a Christian thing, don't mean you're using it as a Christian thing. You could be using it wrong. Your present meaning is your present meaning. Idol worship doesn't happen by accident, just like Christian worship of Jesus Christ doesn't happen by accident either. It is purposeful.
So one of the things that used to be drilled all the time, and it was painful, and you didn't really say nothing about it, but was you had the one that was the abstain from all appearances of evil, and that got pushed across the board from everything. That was the go-to. When in doubt, throw that at people so that you can control them and make them not do something you don't want to do. The second one was it bothered me a whole lot because it's one of my favorite passages that I've studied it a lot. That's Romans 12:1-2. They'll be not conformed to this world. And they'll throw that in there. Well, if you got your Christmas tree up, you are being conformed to this world. That is not what that passage is talking about.
Right.
It's talking about being transformed by the renewing of your mind. It means that the way you think and the way you live be conformed to Christ. And that means I can take anything that I do, whether it's putting up a Christmas tree or not, and I can use it to glorify God like you're talking about. I don't have to. That doesn't mean I'm conformed to the world because I got a Christmas tree. Not at all. Doesn't mean I'm thinking like the world because I got a Christmas tree. Doesn't mean that I value sinful things because I got a Christmas tree.
Right. It's Christmas tree is not sin. And that's one thing, sin, you cannot glorify God with sin, right? You can't do that. So I'm going to add this because I'm going to circle back to ask you how big your tree was. Mm-hmm. And the Germans who were worshiping where it originated from, being the garden, their trees were only 4 foot high. But when it come to America, they wanted it from the floor to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Gluttony.
That's right.
Yeah. So if your tree is over 4 foot high, it's sinful.
It's sinful.
Okay. What verse? Chapter and verse on that one.
All right. So here's the other thing I did, because I did try an effort to stand on a tree coming from pagan roots. You ought not do it.
You still manned that argument.
Yeah.
You did good.
And but then what I did was I said, well, I'm going to apply. This is a logic thing, right? We want to be able to think, and we want to learn stuff from Scripture. We want to be biblically minded so that our thinking process is always logical and rational. So if I begin to apply that logic of thinking to other areas throughout Christianity in life, we'd have to reject things like rings, birthdays, the calendar, the names of the days,
Yes,
flowers at weddings. We wouldn't even have funerals anymore like we have funerals now. There'd be all these things that we could no longer participate in if we apply that same logic.
Right.
So you tell me why it's in just one area and not the rest. Because it must not be a logical way of thinking.
Well, it also stills being able to glorify God in the season.
You know the names of the days came from pagan gods. Did y'all know that?
Some of them.
Some of them, yeah. So I don't know which one. You just can't do it anymore. You have to skip those days, I reckon.
Yeah, Thor is Thursday, right?
Uh-huh.
Thor came from Thursday. Thursday came from Thor. But I like the Spanish sábado,
Uh-huh.
the Sabbath.
Yeah, but they got
Or-
lunes.
Domingo. What is Domingo? It's Domini, which is the Lord. It is the Lord's day.
Yeah.
Even though we say Sunday, S-U-N, which is probably pagan, but who cares? I'm not worshiping Sunday. I'm not worshiping Saturday. I'm not worshiping those days. I'm not worshiping the months of the year.
But you can't use them if you're a Christian. You're going to apply that logic. Then you have
That's right.
You have conformed to the world. You have this appearance of evil. We have to give them new names. I guess it's going to be like, I have to start naming them like after biblical name. John, Sarah, Rebecca, Rahab. Oh, wait, that's probably a bad one.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
only if it's in the latter half of the year.
yeah. Anyway, I hope you get the point.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, you got, if you want to apply it one way, you go ahead and apply everything.
Apply it to everything. Give your wedding ring back. Don't wear that ring. I hope you didn't have flowers at your wedding. Did you have flowers at your wedding? I did. I messed up.
I don't know if
The
I
wedding is now null and
had flowers.
void.
Try to forget about.
It was bonus.
And we can never have a birthday again. I'm all right with that one, to be honest with you. I mean, you get to a point.
But yeah, I'm past that now.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to know. Got older.
Well, that's all I got. Y'all got anything else?
No, if you want a Christmas tree, put one up. If you don't want to put one up, don't put one up. Just don't tell anybody else what they've got to do.
Yeah, for real. Guilt trip them into feeling like they can't celebrate Christmas.
But just remember that biblical theology is redemptive theology. If you get a chance to redeem something, redeem it.
Take it back.
Take it back.
I like it. All right, folks. Well, that's all we got for today. As always, check out our website. But really, what we want to push right now is our YouTube channel. Be sure you give us a like, subscribe, whatever you got to do. Get your friends to do it as well. We want to get those numbers up. And be on the lookout. Starting in December, we're going to do our ad for the upcoming Beyond the Blind event. We got some giveaways for that, some tickets and stuff. But anyway, we appreciate you guys listening. We look forward to you tuning in on the next episode.